Welcome to Upticks. I'm Jake Falcon, the founder of Falcon Wealth Advisors and your host of Upticks. Today is episode 142, Investing Fundamentals. Okay, thank you for joining me back on the show. I hope all of you out there are staying safe and healthy during this horrible pandemic. For today's topic, I wanted to talk about some investing fundamentals that we follow when managing capital for our clients. Now, as a quick effort of disclosure, this is not investment advice, right? So don't go listen to this podcast or watch this YouTube video and think you can go out there and start gunslinging and managing stocks and bonds on your own. We still think it pays to work with a qualified professional, right? But I wanted to peel back the curtain a little bit and give our viewership a little bit more insight into what we're doing for our clients on a daily basis. Okay, so first I want to talk about some things that we don't do, right? So first and foremost, with our clients, we don't look to charge commissions. Okay, so this is, to me, fundamental. There's two types of advisors out there. There's the brokers and there's the fiduciaries. The brokers aren't bad and the fiduciaries aren't good. They're just different. Okay, so we are on the fiduciary side here. And so what a broker is a broker is what it sounds like. It's a salesman. They are executing a transaction in return for a commission. The fundamentals of a broker are that the investment only needs to be suitable. It does not necessarily need to be in his or her client's best interest. And that's where we have a little bit of a problem with it, at least at Falcon Wealth Advisors. Okay. And at fiduciary, which is where the side that we stay on, we are legally obligated to act in our client's best interest. And for that, we charge an ongoing asset management fee, right? So we do get paid for what we do. But we're not doing transactions, right? So we're not looking at buying XYZ stock and selling ABC and making a fee on that. If you've paid any attention to the investment world over the last few years, commissions have gone down drastically. Where you used to have to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to execute that type of trade, now literally it can be done free on many platforms. Now, free, I say in quotations, because typically that platform is using your data for some other profit, right? Or you may not even be getting the best deal. But needless to say, the prices come down, right? So fundamental number one, be aware if you're working with a broker that probably don't have your best interest in mind, and they're going to be charging you sometimes very high commission in a transaction that should be relatively low cost or could be. All right, number two, fundamental for us. So number two fundamental is that we don't use products. Right. So this, again, it makes Falcon Wealth Advisors somewhat unique in the marketplace. Tons and tons and tons of advisors were trained in their career to be what are called asset gatherers. So they go out, they find the clients, and then they put them in products. So they outsource it to a third party, an annuity company, a mutual fund company, an exchange traded fund, ETF or index fund. You might have heard those terms. By and large, there's good products and bad products, and there's a lot of them out there, right? So I'm not suggesting that the products by their nature are bad. The big issue that we have with them at Falcon Wealth Advisors is that many advisors will have clients come in and bring in their statements from their advisors, and the advisors will have them in products that charge fees, right? They've got to get paid, and the advisor is charging a fee on top of that, right? So in essence, the client is getting billed, in our opinion, an enormous fee for one activity, which is managing the money, right? So we feel that outsourcing it to a third party not only limits the transparency, obviously the costs are high, and certainly gives up the control. And we don't like that. Our clients hire us to do two things: manage their financial planning, tax planning, retirement planning, income planning. And then what I'm talking about today is managing their investments. They want us to manage their investments. So at Falcon Wealth Advisors, we have a team of professionals. I'm proud on one of my recent shows, Brandon Reed just joined us. He's a chartered financial analyst, so he's certainly helping me out with research. And then we've got Matthew Navikas and Abby Stockman, who also do research and trading. So we're handling all of that in-house. So no products, we're basically buying stocks, bonds, and options for our clients and not outsourcing that. Again, lowers the cost, cuts out the middleman, gives us control, our clients transparency. And to us, it's a win-win. And again, we're not succumb to whatever this third party is doing. Okay, so that's fundamental number 2, as far as the way we invest. And then 3 is we don't typically like to invest. I'd say it's like 98% of the time, we don't invest without a financial plan, right? So we want to line up those investments with a goal, right? You don't want to get caught up in cryptocurrency, NFTs, short squeezes, hedge funds, all this other hoopla that sure, it makes for a sexy news story. But when you're talking about your serious money for retirement, money you're going to actually have to live off of, you don't want to be playing around with cryptocurrencies or NFTs. And sure, maybe there will come a time where they may make sense in the portfolio. The issue is now lacking regulation, lacking transparency. It's kind of the wild, wild west. And sure, some people are making a lot of money, and I'm sure a lot of people are losing a lot of money. And again, there's no need to do that. There's a lot of ways to invest. And we like to invest in actual companies rather than just stuff, right? Rather than just a coin or a file. We want to invest in an actual company that has earnings and has, more importantly, humans behind that company, making it grow and profitable and providing goods and services. That's what we like to invest in, right? And then again, we'll do bonds and options around that, but it's all based on that fundamental of investing in actual companies, not coins, right? Or digital files, which is what an NFT is. It's a non-fungible token, which I can probably do a whole nother podcast on that. But again, I digress, right? So that's investing fundamental number 3. Now, so you say, okay, Jake, I've heard you say that before. I get all that. So today, as part of the second segment, I wanted to talk about how we actually trade for our clients, right? So I'm going to peel back the curtain a little bit further. But first, I want to give a quick plug. If you're not already a subscriber of Falcon Wealth Advisors Collective on YouTube, I'll put a little button up here. Please feel free to mash on that subscribe button. Certainly like our content and feel free to share it. We've been very humbled. Our subscriber base continues to grow, and that's from all of you sharing it, liking it, and subscribing. So thank you so much. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, thank you as well. A thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. I think that's how more people get to hear our message out there. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully we can get this to work. The computer's been acting funny on me lately. So let's see if this will share here. Okay, very good. So I believe that's sharing now. So what we're looking at now on the screen are a bunch of colored boxes, and it looks actually really confusing, but I can assure you, once you understand how to read this, it's not. Okay, so the way you read it, and this chart is called a Kalian chart, right? Right down here, or Kalian. The Kalian Institute created this chart, so I didn't make it up, right? There's a whole company that puts out this data. And the way you read this chart is that every column here, starting with 2001, going all the way over to 2020, represents a year. And every box on this chart represents a main style of the market. Okay, and actually on the second page, it defines them. So we've got large cap equities, small caps, developed ex-US, so that would be like international, emerging markets, fixed income. Real estate would be real estate investment trusts, not your house. So this would be like commercial buildings or apartment complexes on here. Okay, so they're all defined on the second page here. And so what it does is it ranks them every year from top to bottom, from the best performing group to the worst. And it's in color here to show you that it changes all the time, right? And so in our opinion, again, this is our opinion, we don't believe in buy and hold. Because you can see, just looking at this orange box here, you can see it goes from towards the top to the middle, kind of floats down, then goes up, then down, then up. So if you just put your money in one of these things and let it ride, you're just riding a wave up and down. Sure, you may get some growth over time, but really you're riding the cycle is what you're doing. So what we do for our clients is that we put a certain percentage in each one of these boxes, right? The total's 100% because we're invested. And anytime your target weighting, so for each client, they each have a target weighting, anytime that grows to be more than 5% of their target for that particular box, we sell what's done well up here, and we go down and we buy what hasn't done well. Okay, so what it does is it forces us to sell when certain things are high and buy back in when other things are low. Because if you remember, these are the worst performers and these are the best performers. And maybe you have, or maybe you haven't. I bet you have. Have you ever heard that terminology? Sell high, buy low, right? And what this does is this maintains discipline. So you're not worried on my gut feel or, some other guy's gut feel or whatever to dictate when you buy or sell. And also, more importantly, and I'll stop the share here. More importantly, is that our clients don't have to monitor it, because this is something that we track literally every day. And if anyone's paid attention to the market over the last few years, we know things can get very volatile. So I'll give you an example. So last March of 2020, the market crashed when COVID swept the country or the world, right? And it went down around 30% in a month or so, right? So certain sectors or styles did worse during that time frame than others. So what we were doing for our clients is we were taking cash or things that maybe we're still doing okay and buying in on the things that had now dropped in value. And what happened is the market recovered very quickly. So not only did we recover with the market, but rather than just sitting on our hands and doing nothing, we bought back shares when it was low. And so our clients, their accounts came back quickly. And that's the whole idea of this. The strategy, I didn't come up with it. If I did, I'd be a very wealthy guy, right? But it's called mean variance optimization. It's, very popular strategy in the large institutional world of money management, the sophisticated money. This is what they're doing. And it's what we do at Falcon Wealth Advisors. So again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. It works very well for our clients. I personally saw it work very well during the financial crisis. Again, that is no guarantee, right? My compliance, again, I'm not saying that there's no foolproof way. This is just the fundamental that we use, right? We use math. You don't want to use emotions. It's a process. We stay disciplined to it, and it works, right? And it works at least for us. Again, there's no guarantee past returns or no guarantee of future results, all of that disclosure. But I just wanted to give you, again, a little bit behind the curtain as to how we manage capital for our clients at Falcon Wealth Advisors. Okay, as always, if you have questions about our investing fundamentals or our principles or process, certainly feel free to send me an email directly. My email is jake@falconwealthadvisors.com. If you want someone from my team to send over this chart to you, I'm happy to do that as well. We do include this in every review with our clients. So every time we review with our clients, we have this chart in there just to remind them that, hey, we're still using this process. We still believe in it. And this is how we've been using it lately, right? So it's in there, but if you want a copy of the chart, I'm happy to send that over to you as well. Yeah, and I'm also out there on various social media platforms. So on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So if we're not already friends on one of those platforms, feel free to send me a connection request. I love growing my network. Our company, Falcon Wealth Advisors, is also out there on those same 4 platforms. Okay, as far as what's going on new, much of the same, right? With me, I've got a busy May coming up, so I'm really excited about that. I've got a trip, actually. I'm going out to Pinehurst, so I'm very excited about that. A friend of mine from high school, good friend of mine, invited me. So here we go. Haven't seen him in a long time. His other buddy going from high school, another guy I know from junior golf. So we're going to go out in the month of May to Pinehurst and play course number 2, which I'm really excited about, really humbled that he thought of me to ask me. So very cool. It's sunny this morning. I'm recording this on a Friday in Kansas City. So hopefully I get out there to play some golf. Hope that all of you out there are staying safe and healthy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a great week.